Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the World Team League. It is a Team League format. It's a best of 7 players face off. Every pair of players plays 2 matches against each other. It's 3 players on each side. If it ends up 3 maps apiece, then we will go to a Game 7 where 2 players get revived from each team to face off in a single map to decide it. BYUN in the top left side of the map in the Terran, Protoss in the bottom right, the Protoss. And that is probably the most succinct intro of the format I've ever given. Shout out to YouTube commenters who've been confused about what the hell is going on with the best of 7 and why the players are getting subbed in and out and how the scoring works. And, you know, I used to describe it as a best of 2, but I think describing it just as a team best of 7 with the players off in. Hopefully that explains it a little bit better, as I don't want you guys being too confused about what is going on in these games. BYUN vs Hero is a fantastic match usually. Hero, I would say, comes in as a favorite. Especially in terms of recent PvT performance. I think Hero does tend to throw games against Maru, potentially Clem, but I think against BYUN, I would favor Hero. I don't know, 60-40, 65-35, but you only get 2 maps to prove yourself, so it could be a tie between the 2, right? Could just be 1 map apiece. And Golden Aura, good defensive map, good macro map. I think in general that favors the Protoss to start things off. Now, this is round 10, by the way. There's only 11 rounds, I believe, this season, leading into, I think the finals will be after the World Championship. They do like to do those finals kind of after the big tournaments when the players have a bit more time to prepare for the Team League and focus on that rather than being occupied with the upcoming $1 million World Championship. So I think it's a good way to set it up. Now, in terms of teams, Weibo Gaming, I believe Weibo, people have been saying how I say it. I was saying it Weibo before, but right, it's more like Weibo. Either way, is got a better chance of going far, I would say, than Shopify Rebellion. Shopify Rebellion is a good team. They're a fan favorite team, but BYUN is kind of like their ace. Whereas you've got, you know, Hero, you've got soO, you've got Oliveira, who's actually really been very good recently as well, especially at slaying Zergs. So, I don't know. I feel like that team's just a little deeper. Whereas, obviously, Shopify Rebellion, you've got Lambo, you've got Scarlett. You know, you've got some very good players in there like Harstem as well that can come in, but it's hard to match the depth of that other roster. Now you could argue soO's not crazy, not really higher level than a Scarlett or a Harstem or a Lambo, but all depends on the day. I feel like any of these players could be taking games off each other. Cyclone early here, this probe for Hero, trying to be as annoying as he can, does finally get shot down. Now, once you know it's a Marine, you don't really need to worry about defending. Notice there's no second chrono boost on the Stalker. Interestingly, the Adept staying here, I think knowing that there's such a fast factory on the reactor, you're already like, okay, we just need to be super safe. Because there could be Hellions, there could be Mass Widow Mine Drop, or, as we can see, 2 very early Cyclones. Now, what are we going to build after this second Cyclone? That's kind of interesting that we're only building 1 thing at a time. Are we going 3cc? Oh, it's 2 Cyclone, 3 Command Center. Okay, so the whole idea of this play, and BYUN is addicted to 3 Command Center recently, is Reacted Factory is the most aggressive opening. If you see the factory in the reactor, this is basically what you're scouting for in early PvT. Like, people are like, why do you send the Adept across? It's if you see a reactor on a factory, you need a shield battery. You need to be really careful in case a Hellion drop gets in here really fast. Like, you look how defensive Hero's setup is. So that's the way this works. Is the Cyclones, well, they can deny Adepts on the map. They shoot up, they shoot down. So it's a generic unit to keep you safe, but it also scares the Protoss into being defensive while you're being greedy. Now, there is a Phoenix play. Unfortunately for Hero, he's not flying across with the Phoenix. Hero, that's a bit dizzying to look at. Sorry, guys. Don't want to give you guys... I don't want to give you guys too much pain watching these Phoenix fly around. The Phoenix want to fly across. Now, the reason you'd hide the Phoenix is you don't want to give away that you've played Phoenix. BYUN has no scouting. So you want BYUN to fly in with his drop, lose a drop, you get free kills, Phoenix pay off big time. But it's a gamble to not scout. And if you don't scout, you delay finding out that this is a 3 Command Center build. If you know this is a 3 Command Center, you want to take a 3rd base immediately so that you can keep up economy pace with BYUN. But Hero is not scouting, so BYUN's getting away with it. Thank you, Patty Mac, for the raid. Always having our high-level Protoss players streaming, having a lot of fun. Okay, check it out, guys. RoboBay comes down. We're thinking about maybe taking a 3rd base in a second. There we go. Yeah, at about time too. I wonder if it's dawned on us what's going on. I mean, you see Such a defensive setup. Hero's still keeping the Phoenix at home, though. Yeah, I don't think Hero knows what's going on. Hero's like, hide the Phoenix, wait for him to make the misplay. It's like, he doesn't have a starport. Hero, he's not going to fly something in because he can't build flying units. But this is the gamble you take as a Protoss playing Phoenix. Sometimes you hold those Phoenix back, hoping your opponent makes a misplay, makes a mistake. The Adept sees nothing on that high ground. And you're just kind of like, come on, man. Fly in that Raven. Fly in that Widow Mine drop, please. Okay, it's crazy at this point for him to still have this at home. He's got an Observer. He thinks it's Cloaked Banshee. Guys, he has an Observer in there. Guys, I don't know if you guys have heard about CTE in football, but that's actually a big issue. I think I've got to worry about CTE for Hero's Phoenix pilots. He was just making them hit 27 Gs just for the fun of watching them spaz out. He's like, it'll make you stronger. Don't worry, kids. Hero's the kind of guy to put his kids in the washing machine for an extra fierce cycle just to make them tougher, you know? Hero's a bit of a psycho. He still doesn't know about the third CC. I mean, he's still got a decent economy. He took a pretty early third. I think he kind of senses, and now he finally finds out about the third command center for a while. All right, Forge and Twilight coming in. I expect charge and +1. Now, you might be thinking, why not Blink? If you've already got Phoenix, you already have a mobile unit for air control. So you don't really need Blink Stalkers until these Phoenix aren't very useful anymore. As Depp comes in, gets a couple of SCVs, or an SCV, I should say. Not bad. Trying to get a pick off. Maybe get this SCV on the turret. And yeah, we can slide around the back. Get an SCV on the depot. Not bad. Oh, BYUN! Oh, BYUN was so close to killing his own reactor. You know what's funny, guys? If you get it low enough hit points while it's building, it will finish building and then spontaneously set itself on fire and start burning down. But it doesn't burn while it's building, only when it's finished. Like, you put that last screw in place and flames swap out. No, it's not below 33% life, so it's not going to happen in this case. But that's just a funny little tidbit. You guys, it's got steam coming out of it. So you can see it's damaged. There's steam, no fire. It's all good. Fourth Nexus on the way. Sorry, guys. Zooming in a bit too much. Zooming out a bit too much. Bit too addicted to that sometimes. +1 attack, charge. Similar upgrades for both sides. I don't know. This seems like a pretty even game. This has always been my problem with 3 command center openings. I feel like if the Protoss scouts it early with their first Phoenix or a hallucination, they just get ahead. And I feel like if they don't scout it, but they do a good macro build, they can still be in a perfectly fine position. Whoa, that's an early 6 gas. Guys, is he 2 Colossus into 3 Immortals? Are we playing Storm? I've seen a few people play Colossus Storm recently. It's kind of coming back into not favor. It's not like the most popular build, but it's being mixed in a little bit more. But now just Archon Zealot by the looks of it. Phoenix on the front. Looks like they picked off a single Marine. You can see a blood smear as that guy got shot down there. No, it's Storm. It is Storm. Wow. I love seeing Storm come back into the meta, guys. I really love this because, you know, like I love seeing people who, you know, they kind of hang on the pro gamers every word and they go, pro gamers say Storm's bad, doesn't do anything. 2 months later, every pro is using Storm. They're like, oh, Storm's good. And you're like, what changed? And they're like, pro gamers' perceptions and maybe the meta a little bit. And you're like, what else? Nothing else. Storm's always been good. It's a really good ability. I will always be an absolute unashamed Storm fan. Storm stan, you could call me even, you know? I'll send bloody fan love letters to Storm, talking about how great it is, how we have a special connection. And if they just hang out with me, we could become best friends, you know? Parasocial relationship with that Psy Storm. Blink's on the way, +2 attack, +1 armor. Guys, I just want to show you guys BYUN's camera view. Man did 1 scan on the 3rd, and otherwise, his strategy, he's zooming in and out. He's looking for observers. Did you see that, guys? We're on his camera. He just zoomed in and out. He's looking for observers right now. He really wants to get rid of the observers. Where are they? There's no observers. He's playing Hero. Hero hasn't built a single observer this game. Oh, he built 1 earlier and it got scanned. But BYUN is like, must deny vision. Must deny vision. BYUN has not moved out of his corner of the map at all. He is just full turtle moding. This is a really good style. I wish Maru would do more because Maru's a king of late game. BYUN is very good in the early late game. He's not great at end game. If it gets to like, you know, like you're never going to see BYUN make a battle cruiser transition, right? Where if the game goes long enough, you let like TY or Maru get 6 bases, they'll hit you with the 3-3 battle cruisers. They'll hit you with the bloody 47 ghosts and range liberators, you know? Silver League turrets? They're not on their back. They're on the edge. They're not Silver League turrets, chat. If the turrets were over here, guarding from the back of the map, that's it. This zones the prism from coming. These are perfect turrets. One more turret there actually could be nice to stop a prism. A speed prism might be able to slide down this left side. 2 Colossus, 14 Stalkers, 4 Immortals. That's a lot of Immortals. Oh, the flanking High Templar. The flanking High Templar, watch out, BYUN! Oh my lord! Oh, another one's coming forward. Another one. Okay. Dude, BYUN's taking big damage. That 4th needs to lift and get out of there. I think BYUN might just die. His army's so wounded. I actually think Hero could jump on him right now. Archon will go down at the front. Another Storm could be big. Oh, is he going to get the command center? He's going to focus it. He gets it. Okay, he gets it. Hero kills the 4th base. That is a massive, massive move. That is so big. Wow. Because now you're on 6 bases against a 3-base Terran. Double Stargate Fleet Beacon. Air weapons on the way. Hero's doing everything he needs to do. Now, there is a mistake players make where after fights like this, they never remake High Templar. Creator does this all the time. A lot of the Protoss players, they use Storm once, they go, surprise is over. High Templar not a good unit anymore. Hero realizes 2 High Templar there, 2 High Templar here. Honestly, I think 5 or 6 High Templar, it's one of the most supply efficient units in the game. Its splash damage is insane. It's so good. And it's not something you can rely on just shoving forwards from one direction and go, it'll always land. But you pepper them around. A few cannons, batteries, and Psystorm can defend a double or triple drop for 2 supply. Having a few High Templar scattered coming from surprising angles, beautiful. So you've got to keep these mixed into your army. Nice Storms. So he's got to rotate. He's got to bring these High Templar to the front because he just used most of his Storms. He's only got 1 Storm left. I like the Disruptor transition. BYUN's still got a pretty scary army. Hero... He's in a massively advantageous position, guys. He's on 10 gates. He's making carriers. He should win from here. But I never underestimate Hero's ability to give up an advantage by making a crazy decision and impaling his army on his opponent's sword, you know? Oh, BYUN, you brave boy! Focusing down that Disruptor. Dude, that was kind of crazy. Chat saying, man, Storm's so effing OP against Terran. Against Terrans who turtle up especially, it's really good. If a Terran turtles up and plays this 3cc build, Storm's actually just amazing. Because the Protoss has so much map control, and that's when Storm really excels, because you can just have these High Templar scattered around the map, right? Look at this. He's got High Templar all over the map, guys. So you can't really hit him with any counter drops or anything, because the Storm's just going to clean it up. Carriers are going to be very powerful, +2 air attacks on the way, which is really important because 3-3 for the bios coming in. I love that there's double ship weapons. Do we have a fusion core, guys? Fusion core is crazy late. I think this is a huge mistake for BYUN. Oh, big ball lands. That is a bunch of dead ghosts and marauders. But BYUN's going to get rid of a Nexus here. Carriers coming forward. Storm on the Vikings. Carriers in the open, though. Hero's army kind of disjointed. Where's the rest of Hero's supply? Great Storm. That's what Storm is really good for as well. It stops the Terran chasing you. Terran can technically land EMPs and zone out the High Templar, but it takes a lot of APM and a lot of time to slow push an area. They can't do that Terran dive, take a good position, and just kill you. So High Templar are one of the best insurance moves in the game. That being said, 84 supply in probes, 12 supply in High Templar, 4 supply in Sentry, 2 in the Phoenix. You got to realize, a supply in the Observer, that's a lot of supply that isn't basic fighting units. What's he got that just does basic damage? If he doesn't land splash damage, he has an Immortal, an Archon, 2 carriers, 9 Stalkers. He's now got a Mothership wasting even more supply. Hero's army sucks. Hero has all the cool splash damage tools. He's slowly adding some carriers, but I don't think he's actually taken a moment to check his supply and thought about what's going to kill his opponent's army if push comes to shove. Because right now, he's got all the fancy tools and no meat and potatoes to back it up. Ooh! You can have all the Air Force, all the artillery, all the tanks in the world. If you don't have infantry to hold the ground, if you don't have infantry, guys, you're going to run into trouble. Everyone knows it's infantry that hold the ground, that win the war. They do the hard yards, man. Right now, BYUN's got a lot of infantry. He's got 15 Vikings. It could be enough to smash these carriers. He's got 2-1 upgrades against +2. Yeah, no, he's fine. BYUN's army is better. He has way worse economy, way less money, way less room for mistakes. But one good fight could ruin... Oh, there's not many ghosts. Oh, actually, there's a bunch of ghosts. They're just on max energy, which is why I can't see the energy bars. Nice feedback for Hero, but there's a lot of High Templar coming in. Okay. Hero's army is now on 7 carriers. He's going to go 9 carriers. Now, you have to spread your High Templar out. Last time we saw Hero play carriers against Maru and Dallas, it was one of the worst High Templar carrier micros I've ever seen. He's got to spread those High Templar out. Nice time warp, though. Nice time warp. Hero's not spreading his High Templar. This is the problem, is Hero doesn't split. He's got to... There we go. He'll spread them. The problem is he's going to clump them again soon. And if he loses the High Templar, he can get stimmed on and lose the game. His army loses to BYUN if he doesn't land Psy Storms. And Hero is incredibly inconsistent. He can micro this perfectly, or he could fall apart. Oh, I mean, BYUN doesn't have a lot of room to breathe. He's still on 4 bases. He's trying to take a 5th, but it's so slow. Good micro for Hero so far. I gotta say, as much as I'm criticizing Hero and saying, hey, he's known to make mistakes in this scenario, he's doing it really well this time. Blinks forward, does a storm. +3 air weapons, +3 armor, plasma shields in the way as well. I think Mass Gateway would have been a much easier way to finish this game. Just Mass Gateway, Blink Dark Templar, Disruptors. I think the carriers is Hero's worst move as he cops a big EMP on the face. He's got more High Templar in reserve, though. He has a lot of High Templar in reserve. They're very clumped right now. But, dude, the Bio's kind of wounded. The Vikings are kind of damaged as well. Big storm. No, not that big a storm, actually. It does end up landing a bit on the Marauders. He needs to keep storming. 1 or 2 good EMPs on those High Templar, and maybe BYUN can overwhelm. But right now, I think this was a good fight for Hero. I bring up the units lost tab. Not looking good for Hero, but remember, he's got economy to spare. And if he denies the 5th base, he kind of wins the game, because 3rd base is getting low, natural's out, main's out. He's so low on mining. BYUN needs this 5th base right now. It's his lifeline. He's struggling to remax. He's got tanks in the back. Those are helping, but his army's so wounded. Oh, the storm! And remember, guys, he never got Caduceus Reactor. He's building libs now, but he doesn't have a fusion core. He does not have a fusion core. That tank's going to go down. Great snipe. Super worth it to trade a few zealots for that ranged firepower. The carriers are here. There's no storm that I can see in there. I don't think there's any storm backing this up. This is just a carrier Archon army. Viking's going to be happy to take out one of the carriers. 2 carriers go down, but the Archons could do big damage. The Archons disappear, though. Dude, Hero moving in with no storm. Nothing but Archons getting obliterated by EMP, and the carriers get wrecked by the Vikings. BYUN gets a stellar engagement. And Hero, there was no reason for him to stay there with no supporting units. But he loses all of his expensive carriers that he took all game to build up to. And this is what I've been talking about this whole time. Hero and carriers, it's his worst unit. It's always been his worst unit. It's something where he needs to be banned from building carriers, and his win rate will go up in late game. I tell you, he's so good with ground armies, and he's so average. Like, don't get me wrong, if he's playing a top 30 player, he probably beats him with his style. But if you're playing a top 5 or a top 10 player, you need to play like a top 5 player in the world to win. And Hero just does not play carriers like a top 5 player in the world. He plays like a rank 50 at best. That's on a good day. Disruptor Marauder goes down. I know it's scathing, guys, but he should have beat Maru and Dallas, and he made carriers when way ahead and threw the game by making a unit that he doesn't do well. He can still win this, but he's got to swap back to ground. He's still building carriers to mix them in. BYUN does not have a lot of money to spare. It's still a game where you can win. You have so much money in this game. He's now playing Disruptor, Storm, Zealot, Stalker, and rebuilding carriers. Basically, he's got a good ground splash damage army. Good Storms, good Disruptors could do it. I'd love to see Dark Templar, because I still feel like BYUN is so afraid in the pack. Imagine if 15 DTs blink and kill this base. That's like something BYUN is going to struggle to recover from. Disruptor shot does come out. I think we're back in a game which favors Hero's skill set a lot more now, because his carrier count's only at 5. He's actually got a decent-sized army. I wouldn't mind Hero throwing 10 probes away as well. I know that sounds weird, but I actually think losing 10 probes and having a bigger army might be more valuable. But because he doesn't have much bank, now that he took so many bad fights, I think it's scary for him to throw economy away when he knows he's trading 12,000 resources less efficient. Liberator harass in the top right. I love this. I love this move. Finally, we're seeing Lib range and Medevac energy being queued up. BYUN needs to get those earlier in his games. That's such an important upgrade that a lot of Terrans just haven't clued on to how good that Medevac energy upgrade is. It is one of the most ridiculous buffs. Oh, EMP's all over the High Templar. Oh my god, he broadsides Hero's army. Okay, Storm does cover the retreat a little bit, but the Vikings are not going to be perturbed. The High Templar were all clumped up, rallying through the middle. Oh no. Great fight there for BYUN. Dude. Oh my lord, BYUN just smashing it. He doesn't have a lot of libs though. Lib range only just finished. I think pulling back's the right call for BYUN. He's so far ahead in supply. Hero's angrily chasing him, desperately trying to get a point back on the board, but this feels like a game where Hero had every advantage and did let it slip away. Oof. Those Vikings could be repaired. 19 Vikings are not useful in the ground. This is, you could argue that's 40 supply of Terran army that doesn't help in this game. As long as Protoss doesn't rebuild air, those Vikings are not great. He's going to send them as a counterattack. That's hilarious. He's going to go kill the gold base with mass landed Viking. I would have liked to see him repair them first of all. Vikings are not bad units on the ground. They're just immobile. They're not flexible. That's their problem. Cannon there is going to do A-okay. Part of me wants to see Hero recall. The other part says if you recall, you're going to lose the top right. He actually does recall. Disruptor goes down. Vikings are going to lift. I mean, yeah, the Vikings not trading very efficiently there. Killing so many Vikings might open up the chance to go back into like Colossus, back into carriers. Disruptor's caught in the open on the right side. As I said, if you recall to the bottom left, you will lose the top right. Disruptor's going down. I think this is just a bit too sloppy for Hero. High Templar in the top right. They don't have Storm yet. Oh no! And they're even moving back into lib zones. Finally, the Storms kick in. Nice Storms. But there's nothing else to add damage to it other than the cannons. So you can see kind of the cannons get depowered, the libs up there. We've got more Bio Viking down here. There's even Widow Mines on this base. And Hero, yet another case of trying to play carriers against Terran in late game. And BYUN, I said he's not an end game specialist, but he's good in the early late game. And I feel like this game never really went past that early late game. I mean, you could argue carriers kind of getting closer to the end game scenario, but dude, his fights were good. Avoided Storms, EMP'd methodically. Hero clumped his High Templar too much, stayed with his carriers on this left side way too long, and then got his army caught in the middle by surprise, which I'll have to show you guys a rewind of that because I did miss that. Really good game to start things off, and it's kind of awesome to see that even BYUN, a guy who was never really a late game specialist, more of a tempo player, he can slow his speed down and come back against a guy like Hero. Triple lib, 4 libs even, that's 4! Oh no, you have to build like a Phoenix or a Void Ray or something to get rid of those. Funny thing is, if you build 1 Phoenix, they on Siege, they can kill 1 Phoenix. 4 Liberators can. But Hero now, he's out of time. Oh, the Bio just goes for it. Disruptors, gonna be getting focused down. Good spreadies at the last second for BYUN. Beautiful spreadies. And there's just not enough Protoss to hang on. Yeah, the Zealots are going down. It is 3-3 for both sides. +1 Plasma Shields is done. That Liberator's gonna try to help out. The Probe rally through the army, obviously running away from this base. They'll get caught on the way down, and that's huge. Ooh. Oh, Disruptors are going out. Oh, GG's. This is looking great, man. Yeah, this is game. Just up to Hero to winning GG's. Pig, I think you underestimate how much BYUN practices late game. He actually plays more than most Koreans. Yeah, he did reinvent himself about a year and a half ago, I want to say. I'm not sure exactly when it was. I remember watching him starting to turtle up a lot more, especially whenever he was playing Shin, and really change up his style. And he started doing this against Protoss a lot more as well. But he's still... It's kind of like Clem. Like, Clem's very good at late game as well. They both are. But I would point out that both of them, they will get in a good position, and then they will kind of get impatient and lose. In situations where you're like, you kind of know Maru would never be there. And I know it's an unfair comparison, because Maru's just better than everyone. Don't get me wrong, like, BYUN is up there. He is a very good late game player. But I definitely feel there's this point where he gets impatient and kind of falls off. Yeah, this is, I think over here is where he got caught, but not on this rotation. It was one of the later ones. Oh, so this is it, guys. This is it. All the High Templar strung out in a line. His army gets broadsided, and the EMPs land before he can land, and there's only 1 High Templar with a Storm left, and the Storm's not well placed as well. He should have put the Storm here to try and stop the Vikings chasing him. But he doesn't really, yeah. Just caught not looking. And you could argue this is a lack of map vision. Why does Hero not have more observers, I guess would be the thing. Because look at his map vision, guys. And he's got no observers. He does have 2 robos. I think he definitely should have tried to have a few more observers out. I think once you get to this later stage, having like 5 observers on the map is way more worth it than having 5 probes. As long as you have them spread, even if one gets scanned, you can always just keep replacing it. Really good catch by BYUN though. Broadsiding the army, amping the High Templar, and just getting an absolutely ridiculously cost-efficient game. I mean, look at this trading. Anyone who's disagreeing that Hero's bad with carriers, look at the trading and tell me Hero's not bad. Don't get me wrong, Terran often out-trades Protoss, but 2-to-1, Hero should not be playing carries in this matchup ever until he drastically improves. All right, guys. We're going into the next one. It's Shopify Rebellion's BYUN in the bottom right side of the map. Up in the top left, sorry. It is Hero. We're talking about winning at life. And my wires are getting crossed, apparently, as BYUN goes for the double gas opening. Now, no more 3 command center. BYUN getting his 4th command center sniped was such a huge win for Hero, but I truly believe that a lot of top Protoss players, and this is going to be a start of a new arc. You guys have heard me ranting about Storm for the last 2 years and how Protoss players need to use it more versus Terran. We're starting a new arc right now. It's called, do you guys remember that Blink Dark Templar exists? Hello? Because so many Protoss players, they get to late game and they're like, man, I need 30 gateways. I'm like, dude, you know you can stop at 20 gateways and then make a Dark Shrine and Blink, right? They're like, nah, man. I have to make 30 Zealots on the Remax. It can't be 20. That's not enough. And I'm like, it absolutely is enough. You know you can make a Dark Shrine and make Blink. You guys know that thing every Protoss beat Terran with in late game for like 5 years? It didn't get nerfed. It got one small nerf. It still kept being used to great success for another 2 years. And then everyone forgot that it was a thing. And there's like 3 pro Protoss players who still remember to go Blink DTs. And I'm telling you, if they're ahead in a game, it is such a good finishing move. It's not great when you're on the back foot and the Terran's got a lot of map control and you're already behind and you don't have a lot of spare money. It's expensive. But warping in 13, 14 DTs, blinking on an exposed base and killing it is one of the most difficult things for Terran to deal with. Not to mention, when the game gets chaotic and you start having DTs engaging them everywhere, Terran having to scan in multiple places, monitor all that stuff is very difficult. Now check this out, guys. Mind game opening. Oh, it's a quick reacted Cyclone, except this time it's not a 3cc. It's 2 Cyclones into 3 and 4 Cyclones. Hero does not have a battery, and he's going out for a greedy 3rd. No, okay, I thought he was moving out for a 3rd. He's going to build a Robo. Good. Uh-oh, Stalker in the open. That's a dead Stalker, guys. He's going to lose both Stalkers, I think, unless these other probes do really well. Good damage. And got to be careful now. Cyclones take out the shield battery. The Adepts in the main actually killing some stuff. That's kind of crazy. Kills the Marine. He's going to kill some SCVs. BYUN's got to deal with that, but he's doing great damage on the front, man. 7 probes and a Stalker. He's going to get another probe or 2 there. Very nice. The Adept manages to kill 2 SCVs. It's kind of a bummer if he didn't lose those SCVs. If he A-moved these guys, he should have queued those back onto mining. He does fix that up. It's 4 Cyclones, guys. It's 4 Cyclones against no battery. Oh my god, is Hero just going to get 2-0'd at the start of this series? Hero's arguably the best player on Weibo Gaming. To be fair, it is kind of like an ace versus ace matchup here, but oh my gosh. Okay, 1 Cyclone goes down, a Stalker does fall. It was the damaged one. Okay, another Stalker for a Cyclone, but 3 probes have fallen as well. They paused in the middle of the battle, I can't believe it. And they do then unpause and get back into the fighting. Stalker goes down, 2 Stalkers for another Cyclone by the looks of it. And this Cyclone should win that fight, just barely. No, has to get out. Has to run home. Whew, great trading for BYUN though, 2-to-1 efficiency. Unfortunately, he was a little sloppy on his macro behind this, I would say. But even in workers is usually good, and that's Stalker. Stalkers are slightly faster than Cyclones, guys. Oh, he uses the grass. Nice moves. Some people have to touch grass. That Cyclone hides in the grass, mate. You know, Woody from Toy Story said there's a snake in my boots. Oh, the Cyclone does go down. Nice blink back. There's a Cyclone in my grass is the StarCraft version of that. I don't know why. I always think of that there's a snake in my boots. There's a Cyclone in my grass. It doesn't even relate, but somehow my brain always thinks of that whenever I see a unit hiding in the grass. We team Woody or Buzz Lightyear? Comment section, let me know. More of a Woody guy myself. I like a good Woody. Low-hanging fruit. Anyways, 3rd Nexus. Oh, we're going a Dark Templar drop. This is a delayed Dark Templar drop. Very, very tricky build. Observer does go down. Nice scan on the Observer for BYUN. BYUN ain't going to have a Rave in this game because he's played quick 3 racks here. And this is going to get weird. Because we've got like 2 base Dark Templar drop into Colossus. And Hero is very aware he can't defend a third right now. He's only got a few Stalkers for map control. This is a medevacless push. Starport's only now swapping over. This push is so committed for BYUN because like he doesn't have medevacs. I think he has to stay on the high ground. I think as BYUN, you just siege, you just chill here, and you just kind of deny map vision of Hero. Observer number 2 comes in. Stalkers have to back away. I like the bio running around. Just BYUN making it annoying for Hero to see what's happening. He's like, am I getting pushed or not? Dark Templar about to run in. We've got 1 scan about to be available, 2 in the main. Do not drop mules, BYUN. BYUN, do not drop mules. Do not drop mules. The DTs are about to come in. Turret's building. He's building a turret. Oh, that turret on the natural is going to be huge. Why did he not run a DT in the natural, guys? Scans the observer. That's 1 scan gone. That's kind of good for him. He drops mules. This is amazing for Hero. He has no idea about the Dark Shrine. Dude, he's about to drop mules. Watch this. We're on BYUN's camera. He's going to drop mules right now. He's going to drop mules and the DT drop's going to come in. This is only Hero could make this happen. He knows something tricky's happening. He saw the prison. I think it's like he realizes what's happening, but he hasn't confirmed it. So Hero's just waiting until he moves out. And BYUN's like looking for observers. You see the way he moved his camera there? If you zoom in and zoom out, it makes it easier to see them. He stims into the main. Does he know about the DTs? He's about to find out. Scan goes down. Marauders looking pretty good. He doesn't have concussive shells. Let's go back to everyone's camera. Takes no damage. I mean, the DTs don't die. This is still so good for BYUN. Because now he's got medevacs out. He's in a much better position. He'll lose a depot. I don't think he cares that much about that. And he should absolutely build a Viking after these next 2 medevacs. He's thinking about stimming, but kind of dangerous. Stalkers on the front picking off some units. He's like, you know what? I'll lose 2 depots. It is what it is. I don't care. And I think that's a fair call. So at least a little bit of value there for Hero. Disruptors. Disruptor ambush. Hero. Oh, man. He went for the tank kill. I think it's more worth it to go for the Marauders. I think Hero could have got even bigger shots there. He definitely caught BYUN off guard. Battery goes down. Oh, battery overcharge up the top though. All right, so the Stalkers there with the battery overcharge are going to be able to defend in the north side. Disruptor shot almost one-shots a tank. Stalkers do finish it off. And now we do have a rally coming in. The DT drops behind, flanks the army. The Stalkers blink forward. Do they take out the medevac? Good pullback by BYUN. But he's losing these lower point units. Scan does take out the DT. Hero trying to hold the... Hero has no units, man. Hero's got 6 gateways, but he has no units. These Stalkers get wrecked by Marauders. It's all relying on the Disruptors as the threat to catch out BYUN. Ooh. Oh, no, he goes for a crazy drop to the left. BYUN picks up and drops in vision. There is a probe to catch him. He's got to go. He's got to keep flying. Don't unload there. Don't unload. We've got 2 Disruptors and a pack of Stalkers. Big mistake for BYUN right now. The Disruptor shots are going to come in. First one doesn't hit big. Second one misses, but it forces the pickup, and the Stalkers pounce, and he's using the Prism to pick up low hit point units. Hero warping in even more Stalkers to ensure he destroys that drop, and BYUN now finds himself far behind. These units are out on the map as well. Kill a pylon, run away. BYUN, he's in chaos. You can tell he's disorganized right now. Those Disruptors, that first ambush has spiked his adrenaline 100%. And remember, guys, there are players like Maru who look calm in the face of this sort of stuff. BYUN and Hero are 2 of the most frantic, panicky StarCraft pro players. They both look like they're kind of look like me when they play, where we're kind of fidgeting and shifting, and our hands are moving way too quick, and we're way too tense. And these guys both do start to make a lot more mistakes when the game gets messy. That drop getting cleaned up there. Bayou over there as well. Ooh. Third command center floating down. Blink Dark Shrine. Double Forge going down, guys. I mean, you've got 1-1 finished. Upgrades haven't started for Hero, but Hero has a 4th Nexus. 4th Nexus finishing as the 3rd base lands is amazing for Protoss. That being said, it's all going to be about the efficiency over the next few minutes. Hero only slightly behind in the efficiency. He's got Zealot drop going across. He's got Disruptors out. Guys, is he just not going to build Colossus at all? He's still only building Disruptors. Chrono Boosts into the supply block, but the 4th Nexus will pop him out of that momentarily. A few pylons going down as well to help him continue production. Now, Widowmine will be burrowing in time to save itself. No defense ready for the Prism, guys. Ghost Academy goes down. No sign of an armory and a 2nd engineering bay. So the Double Forge will actually recover the upgrades, and Blink DT comes in. Isn't this crazy, guys? I did not know what happened in these games. I was like, this is my Blink DT arc. This is me complaining about people forgetting that DTs exist. Apparently, Hero heard me from the past. You know, he's listening to this replay cast down the track. Oh, no +1. The +1 armor means the DT takes 2 hits to kill an SCV. This is always so annoying. If they get an armor upgrade before you have an attack upgrade, your Dark Templar are just not that good. You really need that +1 weapons before they get the permanent one-shot. Prism, going to get taken out there by the turret. Does get taken out. Zealot's going to take out a few SCVs. 5, 6, 7. Hey, not too bad. Almost gets one more, but not quite. 7 SCVs is not bad for the Zealots, but losing the Prism is, of course, very expensive. That being said, Hero seems to not care too much about the cost. As BYUN just picks up his whole army. He's like, lol, let's go for a quad drop. There's 5 Stalkers waiting. 5 Stalkers can two-shot a medevac. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous move for BYUN, and Hero seems to be prepared for it. He's going to boost in. He's going to go for it. If Hero's not watching, it could work out. And it's going to work out. He's going to unload all these units, but the army's nearby. Battery goes down. Zealots warping in on top is kind of nice. Disruptor shots. One of the disruptors goes down. Next one forces the pickup. Stalkers need to blink, and they will take out a few medevacs, but they are the empty medevacs, so it's not as bad as it could be there. Hero does defend, but BYUN not finding the value he's looking for. Remember I said it's all about the trading from this point on. Who's going to trade better? 200 resource loss difference, but now it's in Hero's favor, and Hero has a 5th base going up. Hero has a 2nd robo. And you might be thinking, well, Hero's work account's not that high. It's not about the work account. It's this base is half mined out. He can grab 8 of those workers, put them on the 5th, fresh mining. This base will half mine out a few minutes from now, grab half the workers, send them to the 5th base. So he's able to just keep mining. Meanwhile, BYUN is running out of spaces to mine with his units. EMPs are pretty nice. The DT's getting kind of big damage, but the disruptors walk into the Marauders, once again having to do a hot pickup dodge, but the Stalkers are just gunning down the medevacs. The drop tried to go back in. It got deflected at the same time. That's just game, man. Hero is crushing these fights. Dark Templar drop, which he didn't get anything with, into ambush disruptors. The ambush disruptors there, absolutely beautiful. Apparently the Dark Templar died to their own disruptors, chat saying. Oh no, I didn't even realize. Well, despite that, the fight was still very good for Hero. Widowmine's getting a few decent shots off. Blinky blinks to dodge what he can, though. And we've got a 3-base Terran against a 5-base Protoss, not to mention double the army supply for Protoss. And now equaling those upgrades. BYUN struggling here in Game 2. Game 1, he was behind, but he did manage to get the win. But Hero's at least going to take one map here. So ace versus ace of the team, going 1-to-1 is probably going to be a very good way to start this series. Keeps things exciting for us, and it's going to come down to those players who are still very good, but aren't necessarily the aces of their teams to see who's going to win the series. Alright. We got Scarlett in the bottom left side of the map, looking like a beast. And in the top right, it's Oliveira. I am very excited for this match. Oliveira is one of the best TVZ players in the world. Scarlett should not be a match for him. And that's exactly when Scarlett's a match for anyone. Right now, Oliveira is kind of the cutting edge of TVZ. But Scarlett loves this matchup. I think nothing matches Scarlett's passion for Zerg vs. Terran. I feel like she just likes the movement, the flow. She has such a deep understanding of the details she's built over so many years. And she really does have a very unique take on some strategies. Things like her Mass Hydralisk style that she was using last year. I mean, she will bring out just some weird banger builds. The question is, can she stand up to the tightness of Oliveira's play? And especially if he hits a sharp timing attack. I do wonder if she'll be able to withstand just the pressure, because he's going to be so in practice. And don't get me wrong, she's practicing a lot right now. Obviously, she's been practicing over there in Asia, kicking butt. And she is very good, always. But Oliveira still comes in as a favorite. Even with me saying, hey, don't count her out, I'm still saying Oliveira is an overwhelming favorite in this matchup. Right now, I don't think anyone really is favored versus him in this match. I think Dark could beat Oliveira for sure. Cyril can beat him for sure. Who else do you guys think could beat Oliveira? I don't think Raynor. I don't know if Raynor can beat Oliveira. I actually don't. I feel like he's so... His ARAX is so scary. His macro late game is so scary. And when you have that like very sharp timing attack and that very good late game, you do become very powerful. On the other hand, does he have enough range beyond those two builds? Because we know Oliveira can play super greedy to late game, where he might be vulnerable to getting swarmed. And he can hit an 8-rax, which you can usually spot coming quite far ahead of time. Could soO hold up against Oliveira? That would be an interesting match right now. soO's been getting back in form. That would be a very cool match to see how they hold up. soO is such a different player to all the other Zergs. So defensive, you know? Reaper gets pushed back, no direct damage there. Sorry, my commentary is a little silent right now. I'm just kind of watching. Sometimes I fall into that. I just become a fan. Just want to watch what's happening. Ooh, another Zergling does go down. Nice snipe. Third command center opening. Very standard, solid stuff here for Ollie. And the question is, do we see a second gas soon after the starport? So normally you want to go starport pretty quickly here. And then Hellions could go second barracks technically. But no, we're going to go starport into second gas. We're going to go second gas before or after Hellions. Second gas straight away. Cool. Pretty standard. Does delay the Hellion production. If you see someone wanting to dive Hellions to punish a delayed link speed, which there's no link speed this game from Scarlett, then you need to already have started the Hellions. Yeah, she's completely skipped link speed. Guys, this might be a mistake from her. Unless she drops her Roach Warren in the next 30 seconds, maybe 25 seconds. Yeah, Roach Warren goes down, never mind. It's on purpose. And he should know. He sees no link speed. He knows for sure now. He sees that the link speed's not upgrading. He should know she's playing Roaches. I do love Roach openings. Reaper does go down. I think they're good. But once your opponent knows early enough what's happening, there are ways they can punish it. And ooh, medevac. All right, we're going to see a Hellion drop. Okay, I'm very excited. So we're going to see a Hellion drop. Great way to punish the immobility of this potentially. You're not going to guarantee damage, but it's just going to force Scarlett to build a good number of like Roaches, keep her Queens well split. You can slow down the creep here with the Hellions on the front as well. And behind it, extra barracks, engineering bays. You can play completely standard. The only difference you play against Roaches... Actually, I mean, to be fair, he often kills Roach players, even with his 8 racks. You know, it used to be, I used to think if someone goes Roaches, you can't 8 racks. But Oliveira has shown against Roach play, he'll just add Tech Labs on the last 3 barracks, add Marauders, and he'll hit a little bit later with 2-2. He won't do the very fast 1-1 push. He'll just be like, no, that's fine. I'll hit a bit later when the Roach's supply inefficiency really hurts the Zerg. Hellion drop coming south. Couple of hits from the Queen. 3 hits on that medevac already. This Queen in the main a little slow to move over, but the Roaches spawn at the right time. Nicely done. And time to leave. Good pullback by Ollie. You don't want to waste your hit points there. Liberator's coming out as well. Now, if you use the Liberator and the Marines together, you can kill the Overlord on the pillar, but that does give away what you're up to. Hellions on the left, Hellions on the right, trying to slow down Scarlett from taking a 4th base. Her lair and her 4th base both going down. I love this 4th base on the left as well. Too many players try to take the right side and the gold base, which are both very vulnerable to the push down the middle. And I think this is a smart decision for Scarlett to change it up. Too many players basically say, hey, if the Terran gets this position, they win the game. But with this setup, she can expand to the top left. She could give the ground up, and actually it gives her kind of decisions that can be made on where and when to fight. Whereas most Zergs play this map like, I have to defend the front or I lose. Ooh, Hellion misclick on the gas there. Not going to get any more kills, I don't think. 3 drones, not that great. Good defense by Scarlett. Hellion drop here. This is kind of expensive, though. The Hellions aren't stacked. Can they get a good drone volley or 2? 7 workers in total. Great hold for Scarlett, guys. Look at the units lost tab. 2-1 trading in Scarlett's favor. She is all over Oliveira right now. Double Evo is very late for her. Well, no, it's 550. It's not super early, I should say. But if she's got 4 base income, that's fine. I would not be surprised to see an infestation pit go down. Because Scarlett knows she's ahead now, guys. And there's still Hellion left. Watch from her camera. When you know you're ahead, you either commit hard to a timing. There we go. Infestation pit just went down. Yeah. Basically, what you want to do is you want to say, I have map control. I know there's a window before medevacs with Stim and Marines get here. Spread creep like crazy. Pull these Overlords back to safety. What is she doing? What is she doing? Oh, she's just using those to speed up the creep spread. Okay. I thought that was a mistake with the Overlords. And I think she did accidentally rally some Overlords across the map. So, a couple mistakes creeping in here for Skull. But the creep is spreading nicely. Yeah. Oh, you do not give Scarlett map control. Oh my gosh, her creep is disgusting. What the hell? It's not even 7 minutes. And it's already at the halfway mark. Uh-oh. Oliveira's gone 4th command center here. So it's 5 barracks into 4th command center. Kind of generic play for him, but I think he needed to make sure he went 5 barracks so he could defend a potential 1-1 roach attack. She's already got a hive and 14 more drones. Now, you might think, isn't that too many to go up to 95 drones? It is, but she's going to build static defense because you can't really defend drops. You want to build lots of spores and a few spines to zone out drops and lib harass. And that allows you to put all of your gas focused into like lurkers, vipers, hydras. So this is a really nice playstyle from Scarlett. She's not going any hydra upgrades, so she might do a roach lurker timing with like 1 or 2 vipers. And that's actually really powerful because you don't have enough gas to get hydra upgrades and everything else at the same time. If she can get these 2 gases, that'll help her as well. Getting up to 10 gas really helps a fast lurker build. Chat's pointing out there's no Raven, by the way. Yeah, well, there normally isn't in this matchup, but yeah, it's going to cost a lot of potential mules to clear that creep up. Very good point. Now, the Queen's got pulled back, which means this gap in the middle, the creep is receding. Double drop on the left, double drop on the right, 4th command center moving out. Oliveira's going to drag this to late game. The question is, can Scarlett break in with the Roach Hydra Lurker? Because Lurkers and Roaches fall off incredibly hard in the late game. And she's maxing on Roaches right now. She's building 2 Overlords. She needs 1 more Overlord. I guess her hatcheries are finishing, and they will give her the supply. So each hatchery gives 6 supplies. She'll be at 198. It's close enough, I guess. 2 Vipers on the way. She's kind of maxed on Roaches right now. I'm not sure I really like this position. It's 1-1 versus 1-1. If she can trade, that'd be really nice. Yeah, I think you just fight a Scarlett. Even though it's not a great angle, he's just shoving. This is a crazy move for Oliveira. Oliveira, what? Just YOLOs. You know, I don't know if you guys know what YOLO means. So for those of you who don't maybe know, maybe you guys are a bit old or a bit too young, since it's a pretty old saying. It means you only live once. It's basically something you shout as you do something dangerous and stupid. And what it implies, and that people don't often think about, is you only live once means you only die once as well. And he just threw away a lot of units in a terrible trade. 2 tanks, 36 Marines for 18 Roaches. That was an appallingly bad trade. He's got to stop. He's trying to get her before she gets to Hive Tech, but he's just playing really bad right now. Oliveira, what is this fight? Why is he still trying to push? Truly old people would have said Leroy Jenkins. He just Leroy Jenkins'd it, guys. He just aggroed the raid boss. Oh, no. Oh, no. She gets a whole bunch of depots and a siege tank with the abduct. And this frees up room for her to now transition into lurkers. 2-2 upgrades almost done for Terran. Oliveira, he's got a lot of minerals. He's got to spend his minerals, but he's so supply blocked right now. He needs mass depots. He's trying to make depots in his main. He's trying to build more command centers as well. I mean, he could still drag this out and win a long game. I don't know. Like I said, Roach Hydra Lurker does not scale well to the late game. Oh, no. The Livs accidentally queued up an A move there. That was a mistake, I think. I'm going to slowly damage this Overlord, but unlikely to kill it. Now, Lurkers are making... She's going to make Ling speed. The late game transition, you have to go Banelings if this goes long enough. You have to go Banelings for their supply efficiency. Potentially Ling Bane, Hydra. Viper is a pretty good late game comp. But Scarlett's got the money. She's got the bank. She's got the map control. She's got great creep spread. This Liberator is being a nuisance, but Scarlett cleans it up. And she's ready with a lot of Roaches, some Lurkers, a few Vipers. She wants to start trading. These command centers could be some nice pickoffs. It's a few SCVs. Command center focus fire would be beautiful. 1 command center canceled, getting another one. Even though he gets a partial refund, that's a lot of money going down. And what? Oliveira crumbles under pressure. He was not dead in this game. Did the early game go well for Oliveira? No. But look at this. A Nidus Worm in the back. He loses the command center. I mean, he's behind in the late game. For sure. He's definitely going to play a very bad, like a tough late game position from here. But the Nidus goes up in the back. His Viking wasn't quite there in position to deal with it yet. He doesn't have many... Wait, he just doesn't have any units. Oh, this is why... Guys, he has like 30 Marines, and all of his tanks are on the right side, and he's just like... I think Oliveira was tilted. He just made so many mistakes. Choosing to fight Unsiege there into a max out of Roaches. You can understand the theory behind it. Like, there was an idea. It was the wrong idea, but there was an idea, right? And the idea behind this fight, as we watch it one more time, is... Uh-oh. I think he'd scanned, right? Did he see? He knew about the Hive? So I think he knew about the Hive. I believe that's the Hive upgrading that he sees there. And I think he kind of was saying to himself, look, I got to get you before you hit Lurker Viper. You're going to be building Hydras with no upgrades right now. Too high on drones, all this sort of stuff. I think I can overwhelm you right now. And this brutal commitment to a timing in a dangerous sort of way is what he caught Reyna with in Dallas. And he's caught a lot of Zergs with. But it just wasn't the right call because she, even though she was taking up really hard, she maxed on Roaches. She made an immense amount of Roaches. She had the 1-1 done, and that fight was really bad. If he didn't do that, I think he would have been much better at transitioning into the late game, and we would have really seen a good macro match. All right, nice game for Scarlett there. Good defense, solid Roach opening. I hope she plays Ling Bane this game, though. Oliveira in the top left for Weibo. JW in my chat was saying the unsiege tanks made no sense to me. He had enough bio to be a barrier. Maybe thought juggling the tanks would be better versus Ravagers, but look, I'd rather lose one tank to a Ravager than throw away units like that. And I 100% agree. So here's the reasoning behind it for Oliveira that I've pieced together. Oliveira thought she was maybe not quite max, saving her supply for Vipers, Lurkers. She's got 7 Queens, 2 Vipers, 10 Hydras with no upgrades that are maybe morphing into Lurkers so they can't fight. You know, there's some Roaches, but not that many Ravagers because she's saving her gas. So he kind of was like, I'm going to catch you off here, and I'm going to push in and punish you before you get to those Lurkers and Vipers and you hit that big power spike. And it's a big gamble, but the idea is, you might think, well, why doesn't he just siege? Because if he sieges, she just pulls back. And then he unsieges, starts moving forward, she engages, he sieges, she pulls back. So his whole thing was, I need to hit this very narrow window and force a fight. So in his mind, if he sieges, there's no point in attacking because she can just basically slow his push down, buy time for the Lurkers and Vipers. At best, he achieves clearing a bit of creep. So he was going for the, I think I have the numbers to just break through. The raw mobile army where like, because Zerg often wants to engage, force you to siege, pull back, and kind of slow down your advance. If you refuse to siege up, and Gumiho does this move a lot, when he makes the same judgment, he'll just leave his tanks unsieged and go, that's not enough Roach Ravager to make me siege up. Like, I'm just going to push through. And when it works, it's such a cool move from the Terran because you're like, whoa, I would never think to do that in my own games. And when it doesn't work, it looks really stupid. So there was a logical... there was a thought process that can logically make sense in other scenarios, didn't make sense in that game. Oliveira, I think, was just a bit too far behind. He should have just beelined towards late game. But I think he felt like off of that early game, he's like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't think I can just get her, let her get to Lurkers or I'm going to be in trouble. I think he felt like he needed to make a play. And it doesn't quite work out. He gets another chance here. Third command center again. Very solid standard play. Now Scarlett's got link speed this time. Notice she has the anti-Reaper rotation spawning pool both games. This means if Reapers jump in, they can't go around the bottom. They have to go through the mineral line. Just makes it a bit easier to defend with those slow queens at the start of the game. I love that you cast with good graphics, Big. Thanks for that. Are there casters who don't cast with good graphics? I'm not on Ultra, by the way. Most of my graphics aren't on Ultra, for those who don't know. I find that if you put medium, just the preset medium, and then you go like put a few of those settings on Ultra and high, it makes things look really nice. I think some of the things like my minerals could be a little sparklier if I put everything on full Ultra, but I actually don't think it adds anything. I think these look really nice as they are. I think medium with like effects and a few other things cranked up to Ultra, like anything that relies on the RAM on your graphics card, you might as well chuck on Ultra, right? But no, I'm really happy that you guys complained a lot in my YouTube comments. And after 6 months of people going 1080p, this looks disgusting. Is this compressed from Twitch as well? Oh, this looks awful. So many people were like 1080p in 2022, 2023. You suck, pig. And I was like, whoa. So yeah, I mean, we're recording 4K these days. It's been a big step up. We do get a little bit of frame drops in the late game sometimes, I'll admit. That's a StarCraft issue. One of my cores on my CPU basically has to do all the work. And unfortunately, I've tried allocating cores to different tasks and doesn't seem to make a difference. This is a nice Ravager-ling, guys. This is a big 3-gas Ravager-ling. Oliveira has no idea. She's going for a huge all-in. He's going to go Banshees, though, and with speed as well. Speed Banshees are so good at defending this because they're so fast at keeping up with the Ravagers. She's hiding it. He doesn't know. Hide on the high. Don't go down there, Scarlett. Wait for a few more units. Don't show it. Okay, she's going down. She's going to show it. He's going to find it. He sees it pretty early. He doesn't have a lot of time to respond, but he has a little bit. Dude, he has 8 Hellions. Uh-oh, that wall off ain't getting up. Those Hellions need to get on the inside of the wall. If you get trapped on the outside of your base, you just die. But as long as you get those Hellions to the top of this ramp, you'll be good. Banshee is going to put a timer on this. Starts a depot there. Does immediately get taken down. It's go time. Those Roaches and Ravagers need to get rid of the Hellions so the Lings can kill everything. She's already started droning. She's realizing, crap, I'm not actually going to be able to kill him up the ramp, am I? And that means she's going to lose all the Ravagers. She gets a few depots, 5 SCVs. I think she has to push further up the ramp. Just pushing on that ramp is dangerous because the Lings, if they stack on that against Hellions, they'll get wrecked. Oh, she's going to bile down the wall. Is it worth busting with the Lings, though? I don't think so. Yeah, she's just going to run away now. And that means he immediately returns to mining on the low ground. Yes, she's ahead 13 workers, but this was an expensive move. If it was dark, I'd say she's ahead. It's Scarlett. She's up 21 workers, but you got to realize that gap's going to close. So let me explain this. I've explained this a few times recently, but I think it's always worth reiterating. Zerg kills their own workers to build buildings, and she does not have infrastructure. So that's a dead drone. That's a dead drone. That's a dead drone for those 3 spores. These gases, that's going to be dead drones. That gas, dead drone. Double Evo chamber, 2 more dead drones. So you got to realize, even though right now she's way ahead on workers, especially with this harass coming, and she was not expecting the Banshees to get across this map so fast. But Hyperflight Rotors, man, they are quick. Hitting the NOS on those Banshees. They are doing massive damage, dude. Oh my gosh, 10, 11 workers. This is sick. Beautiful play by Ollie. He goes home to macro for a few seconds. Queens do come forward. He's going to have to pull away. Gets 1 more drone. And you can see now she's only up 10 workers. And look, infestation pit, gas. She's going to have to do 2 more gases here. She doesn't have a 4th base started. So that work account will close. 3 command centers, building 3 SCVs at a time. We're already going to 8 barracks. He's already made up his mind. He's like, 8 racks or die trying. Let's do it. He's just going to try and take her out. She's still up 14 workers. It's not like she's in a dead position. She's going to go melee carapace. Oh, banelings. So she's just going to stick with 6 roaches, which she'll make every single one into ravages as an anti-tank unit. And then everything else she builds is going to be just Ling Bane. So it's basically a Ling Bane hold with a, or defense, I should say. We don't know if it's going to hold or not, with a set of ravages to complement it. Against an 8 rack set, I don't think there's going to be add-ons. I think this is just a straight up Marine all-in. And is he skipping the Armory? He's skipping the Armory, guys. No, he starts it now. Okay. So he'll make 2-2 as the push is going. It's not going to be ready for the first push, though. I'm pretty sure we see no add-ons on those barracks. Get out of there with the Banshees. Queen's going for the weak one. Oh, he loses it. A little sloppy, a little greedy. 3 barracks, no add-ons. A little bit supply blocked, but we should see Marines pumping out of all of these. Yeah. He doesn't quite have the minerals right now. He's still a little broke from that early damage. But as long as Oliveira keeps pumping depots, pumping Marines, he's going to have a very scary push. Now, Scarlett needs to stop building workers. Basically, now she's rushing Hive, Lingbane, Ravager, Infester on 3 base. She's only on 68 workers. Her 4th base isn't ready. Uh-oh. You can't lose that 4th hatchery. Oh, no. Oh, no. Scarlett. Oh, gosh. She's truly stuck on 3 bases now, guys. She needs a good fungal ambush. Because her economy is so low. Her 4th base was already late. Very late. And now it gets cancelled. Yeah, just 2 infestors is fine, I think. Because she does have extra gas. But I think she's a little behind on economy. Oliveira's looking pretty good. Big army gathering up at home. She takes a 5th base on the right side as well. She's making Burrow. She's making 2 more Ravages. That's going to be 6 Ravages that we were talking about. There's no Banelings yet. That's a cancelled 5th base. Oliveira getting economic damage. Giving her other things to worry about. Even sitting on a low work account and massing army. It feels like it's going to be hard to defend this. I think about 70 workers, sometimes even mid-70s, is probably perfect for defending an 8 racks. Because she doesn't really have much of an economic lead. She's looking for the fungal from the high ground. She gets a great first fungal. Gets rid of a few Hellbats and Marines. Nice first wave. She doesn't have any Banelings ready on the front, though. That hatchery will go down. Cancel. Good cancel. She already lost a Ravager and a bunch of Queens up front. She has a lot of Banelings, but not many Zerglings. She needs to spread, come from both sides. She's thinking about it. Fungal could go down there. Baneling's going to go for it. He's so deep on creep. He's so deep on creep. All of her Banelings go to the right side. They don't really land the hits that they need, though. And this felt like Oliveira just confidently shoving on creep. He does this so much. I think there's a part of Scarlett's brain as she GG's out where she's like, wait, are you serious? Look at this army. This is the thing which Raynor, like, I literally talked to Raynor right after he lost to Oliveira. Like, a minute later, at Dallas, maybe 5 minutes later. And he was just like, what the hell? He's like, he's really good. And also, who attacks there? Like, he's just like, he shoves on creep with more confidence than like any other Terran would second guess themselves. But Oliveira will just rock up and march 2 screens deep on creep, unsiege, and then just spread out, like right on top of your base, spread out and just siege up and micro and somehow avoid all your Banelings even on creep. And I'm like, yeah, he's really confident, dude. This is like braver than Clem. He pushes so deep. I do think if her Banelings were already split to come from both sides and she just A-moved them, it would have been better. I think her Baneling micro was actually negative. I think her Baneling micro was negative. And I think she'd agree with me on this. Because look, she split to the right, but she didn't click them far enough. And then when she A moves, see where she A moves? She A moves to this area, or maybe she move commanded. And these guys path to the left, but she wanted them to come from the right. So this is a crucial mistake where she kind of didn't quite let the units go far enough to the right before clicking them, number one. Number two, she desperately needs more Zerglings. She has so few damage, right? Only 30 Zerglings and 6 Ravages, very few damage. And he just shoves really, really deep here. Whereas if she had some Banelings A move to the left, that would be good. Some Banelings coming from the right. It's going to be harder for him to get out of this. But instead, it's like 5 Banelings from the right, and they just get gunned down. And he can just pull to the right side and create like a beautiful spready. Great engagement. And Oliveira's 8 racks continues to be a force to be reckoned with. That being said, great defense with him. I love the speed Banshee opening, and Scarlett's damage probably didn't do enough in the start, especially not with how quick his Banshee counterattack was. All right. Lambo in the top left for the Shopify Rebellion, and soO in the bottom left, the last 2 players of today. If they go 1-1, there'll be an ace match. Potentially a Beyond Hero rematch would be awesome, but Oliveira's been so good recently, he's actually often playing as the ace. For a way, it could be like, could be a BYUN Oliveira rematch, something like that. I don't know. Either way, soO bottom left, Lambo top left. Let's talk about the specialty. Lambo, technical build orders, great preparation. Has been a little down on himself after failing just barely to qualify for the World Championship. Put out an emotional tweet saying, you know, I tried so hard. I put so much effort in. It feels really bad to be ranked 20th in the world at the end of this whole qualification process when top 18 get to go to the World Cup. It hurts, but, I'm going to come back stronger, work harder. He's all about that technical effort, that efficiency, and the build orders being optimized. Now, this is an interesting match because if you match Lambo against Dark, Dark will objectively do a worse build order, get supply block twice as often, and then still find a way to win by tricking his opponent and just doing clever builds and stuff and, being so good with his micro and his instincts. soO is a little bit more like Lambo in that he loves the fundamentals. soO never misses an inject, almost never gets supply blocked. soO is like a robot when it comes to playing StarCraft. He really was raised in the StarCraft 1 age of, you play 14 hours a day and you never miss a lava inject. And you always, very perfect macro. soO's weakness is he doesn't have good late game at all. People have actually theorized that he thinks the Hive is simply something you make to get tier 3 upgrades for your lair tech units. He's a big fan of Roaches. Roach Hydra, Ling Bane, into more Ling Bane, into more Ling Bane. He will occasionally make Spellcasters or a tier 3 unit if he's going. But his idea of anti-Skytoss late game is like Ultra Corruptor. It's like a simple A-move army, and he's all about just good macro, good fundamentals. Now, the problem for Lambo is if you're a Protoss player, I think it's really easy to counter soO if you're similar to his skill level because his late game sucks. So you just have to survive and play very patiently. Harstem showed exactly how to do that in Dallas and took him out of that tournament. Even though I think some people would argue Harstem's a lower level player than soO, I would say, yeah, it's kind of on the fence. But I think Harstem played very smart series against him. The problem is this is ZVZ. You don't really need to go past Roaches. Getting past the Roach versus Roach game is something you have to earn, and it's very hard to earn. Now, soO famously beat Serral on his way to winning 2019 IEM Katowice. That was pretty much a peak Serral at that time as well, just about 4 months off from winning his world championship, his first world championship. Banelings on both sides. 4 more drones coming in for soO a little bit later. So Lambo's the one who's building a few more Zerglings. Looks like he wants to be the one who's kind of poking forward on his opponent's side of the map. Only a few defensive Zerglings. No Baneling at home. I do like soO's Overlord Ring. Look at this Overlord Ring. Pretty damn nice. I think little gap there is kind of a mistake, but not the end of the world. soO's been slightly greedier. Lambo's going for the faster Roach run. This feels like Lambo's playing safer. soO is playing an older style. soO's droning harder with no safety Banelings. He built his Zerglings later, which means he would have struggled if Lambo masslings to cancel the third. He's also going Evo Chamber before Roach Warren. Yeah, Lambo's playing a more modern, very safe, very careful style. soO's just being greedier. He's playing a style we played 2 years ago. And you can still do this. It's just a little dangerous. But soO doesn't seem to care. He's happy to play a risky style, whereas Lambo's playing just a little more conservatively. That being said, Lambo has a slight worker advantage. Good surround by soO, and the Baneling detonation gets missed by Lambo. Lambo slipping up on his micro. Oh, I don't know if Lambo practices cross-server much as well. Something you got to factor in these matches is you got to practice a lot of online tournaments to get used to playing with lag. And I think soO's been playing a few more of them recently. He looked really confident, and Lambo just kind of slipped up on the micro. This is not an excuse for Lambo. This is a criticism, if anything, that he hasn't practiced more on that latency, because it is a different thing microing Ling Bane, but he simply missed a very easy Baneling detonate where he could have cleared most of those Zerglings. So he loses the first fight terribly. 2-1 trading in favor of soO. And soO gets a Baneling here as well. Lambo chasing into a Baneling. This is a bad start. He's already about a minute behind on his upgrade. He is up 5 workers, but he's got to defend now, and his third base has to abandon. The queen's out in the open. She's going to go down. Oh, Lambo getting caught with his pass down. He has to make Banelings behind his wall off. Lambo, a bunch of errors here. I don't know. Could we call these unforced errors? I think we could. I think we could call these unforced errors if we want to use tennis terminology. That Baneling gets a decent hit. And the roaches do defend. Shouldn't lose anything else here. Except, oh, the third hatchery actually dies? Oh, no. soO is miles ahead. And you know what, guys? soO's not going to overcomplicate it. Doesn't bother with a lair. Just +1 range. A mass Roachling Bane timing. He's going to go with 20 roaches. We're going to see Zerglings in the production tab in a moment. Oh, he needs Overlords, actually. Overlord soO. soO, you have supply block. 2 Overlords do start. Starts making a Ravager. He's waiting for all of his roaches, and he's going to shove them out in one big ball. Lambo looking to force army production. When he sees this roach count, he's going to freak out. Run, Lambo! Lambo's going to maybe lose 1 roach here. But Lambo needs to do nothing but hold down the roach key. He's at half the roach count right now. His own +1 range is still about a minute away. 40 seconds away, I should say. Uh-oh. soO, he's going to build Zerglings. He's still building roaches. Okay, now he starts rallying Zerglings. He's going all in. Roach Ravager Zergling. soO is going for it right now. He's way up in army supply. Equal workers, but way ahead in army. Killed the third. He's traded so much better. 2-1 efficiency in the early game trading just gives you such an advantage in this matchup. And it just seems like the Ling Bane play for soO a little bit more solid than Lambo in this one. The biles do come down. Roach Ravager needs to move to that right side. soO is a player who has never doubted himself even once. He has 100% confidence pushing in when he knows he has the advantage, and he will secure that victory. Very nicely done by soO. Potentially the final game of the day. Lambo fighting for his team's life. And that is a tilting game he just played. Why is that a tilting game? So what's upsetting about that is Lambo made a series of unforced errors. An error into another error into another error. I'm not saying they weren't hard situations, skillful situations. One of those mistakes is understandable, but there was multiple. Chasing into the Baneling on the other side of the map was a huge mistake. Letting his queen get surrounded. Not getting his own Baneling to detonate on the enemy Zerglings and then losing his Baneling for like 1 enemy Zergling. There was just way too many mistakes there in the early micro for Lambo, and he has to reset mentally and come back with a much cleaner mindset. soO is not a super technical player later on. If you can get to the Lurker game, I can't imagine soO is particularly adept at it. I honestly don't think soO would ever even let the game get to Lurkers in ZVZ. I don't think he'd know what to do with Lurker Viper. And that's not any shade on soO. He will kill his opponents before then or die trying. The man is an expert at what he does. And we never really... I wish we had a nickname for him in Heart of the Swarm, because I used to play against soO all the time, guys. And he was a concave breaker. So there's kind of a thing whenever you have an army fighting, right? It's like whoever has the big arc, you know, kind of like a banana, right? You have all your units shooting at once, and if the opponent's attacking in the middle of that, it's much worse positioning. If they attack in a ball into you with a big arc of units, a concave as we call it, that's usually bad for the guy attacking into the concave. But soO's so good at his macro, he will just shove into the middle of the concave and start a step forward and collapse your concave. And you'll be like frozen in disbelief. Like, you're not seriously attacking into the worst possible angle, are you? And he's like, yeah, I will. And it's funny because I remember some guys like BYUN back in the day and some of these other guys, they would attack decisively, but what they would do is they would try to collapse one wing of your concave. They would micro their whole ball of units towards one wing and try to like collapse you in on yourself, where you would have to pull that wing back, push your other wing forward. I know this is a lot of theory. I'd probably need images to describe this for those who aren't kind of well-versed in like military, you know, old school military tactics and stuff like that. But it was, you know, you'd see people be a bit more technical, and it was just always funny to see soO just be like, we're punching a hole in the middle. Like soO, you'd just be amazed, and you'd be like, oh, and you'd lose, and you'd be like, why? And you'd be like, oh, his upgrade was 10 seconds faster than mine, and I missed 1.5 injects. He didn't miss a single one. I was supply blocked for 15 seconds. He didn't get supply blocked once, and you're like, oh, soO's fundamentals are just better than mine. And when he knows he's ahead, he will just try to kill you. He's so confident with it. It's amazing to watch because on the downside, when he misjudges the game, he will attack into the worst possible position and just like throw his army away into the meat grinder. And it's one of the ugliest things to watch. But I would say more often than not, soO judges it correctly and wins those fights, right? The rare time when he doesn't, like I said, it's very ugly to watch. You're like, oh my gosh, that is the worst fight I've seen a player take. Now, this is really cool because Lambo's playing a 2-base, no link speed roach opening. I think he's just trying to simplify things that way. Meanwhile, we've got link speed into a fast evo with the 3rd base. So this is the classic one player, mines the gas, gets the link speed, gets the map control. But what soO's done really well is notice he hasn't lost any resources. He never started the Baneley Nest, so he realized what Lambo was doing very early. He's going straight for evo, roach horn, really focusing on his drone advantage, whilst Lambo is doing a roach speed +1 all-in. So this is the Alpha Star build, I believe, guys. It's a 2-gas roach all-in off 28 drones, 29 technically. It is so all in. Now, the reason this can work is soO, usually if you're in soO's shoes, you can't scout. You see an upgrade, which means your opponent's going at least 40 drones, usually 3 gas, could be 4 gases before 3rd base, sometimes even double upgrades. So it's really hard for you to basically do it. Normally you want to go at least 45, sometimes 50 drones against this as soO to get some advantage out of your 3rd base. Problem is, if you go 50 drones, you will die. But guess what's working for soO? soO is planning his own all-in. soO is going carapace rather than range. He's not going to make a lair the entire game, and he's just going to go for a mass Ravager Ling surround. And that hard counters Lambo's strategy, because Lambo's strategy is a giant Queen Walk Roach all-in. Look at this. The Overlords he's about to drop the purple highway. He's about to drop the purple highway, ladies and gentlemen. He drops the creep out there, starts taking out an Overlord, and then he's going to walk forward with these queens. He's going to go for the big old push. Roach speed is almost done, as is +1. soO, he's got the roaches coming out. I mean, the thing is, he's not going to have carapace in time. If Lambo fights before carapace, the Lings are going to be kind of garbage because they're going to get 2-shot by the roaches. This could actually just kill him. Even though I'm saying like soO stopping at 42 drones, not making a lair, massing army is the counter, I don't know because it all relies on carapace kicking in. If he doesn't have carapace, he will need the really good biles. He's got a lot of roaches building, though. He is making a lot of roaches now. He wasn't planning to make that many before. It's a 13 worker advantage. Lambo needs to force this fight before 5:30. He's got to go pretty damn soon. He's got the upgrade advantage right now, but that roach count is growing for soO. He's going to dive in there. The roaches move in. The roaches move out. Lots of transfuses are available. 4 queens are there. One of them is lagging behind a little. Lambo a little slow on one of the transfuses. The queens are very tanky units. The roaches trying to not get surrounded. Carapace isn't there just yet. The Lings are getting cleansed very quickly, but soO's got defender's advantage. He has a much bigger income. Way more units popping. He's pulled every single queen to the front. The biles get dodged. Lambo focus firing the Ravagers very nicely. This is a very, very efficient timing from Lambo. Is it going to be able to break through? It seems like the army count is very similar. And remember, Lambo has to rally across the map, but he's got that +1 attack upgrade, which is better than the Carapace upgrade on the Roaches. That being said, as Lings pop out, because Carapace is now done, they will take 3 shots rather than 2 to die. Oh man, these Roaches are all falling. Lambo just doesn't have a reinforce. His reinforce is a little slow. I don't know if he missed some production there while he was moving across or not, but it feels like his supply, it's reinforcing so slowly, while every time soO loses a unit, a new one comes out. Roach is starting to fall, but the Lings do jump on top. Nice micro for both sides. I like the way Lambo's trying to pull back his weak Roaches. That one does go down there, though. Dude, I think soO might just barely have enough to hold it. As I say that, the front line starts to crumble, but it's neck and neck. The longer this goes, Lambo's not mining enough. He needs to get in and kill drones. He hasn't killed a single drone yet. The longer this goes, the worse this is for Lambo, unless he's massively out trading. Units lost tab in the top left. He's traded 1,000 resources better. But being down 13 workers, that might not be enough. And you can see those numbers starting to close. Lambo's being held. And that was an all-in. He has 1 queen he's rebuilt behind it. Remember, you do stack a few extra injects with this, which is why you're able to bring all of your queens across the map. But he now starts a 3rd base. He doesn't have any more drones building. Lambo's going to take a 3rd. And this is a, hey, look at me, I'm totally expanding 3rd base. And what he's going to do is he should hide his roaches at home, I think, and try to maybe trick soO into droning, right? But he's got to pretend that he's actually going to start droning. Ooh, down 12 workers, down a base. I mean, I get you've got roach speed in +1 with +2 on the way. You've got a nice upgrade lead, but is that going to be enough? These roaches running in. Oh, he runs it on the left. He's got to focus the drones down. Oh, I like the roach run by. But he's got to keep making roaches himself. Lambo cannot make drones. Yeah, Lambo's making more roaches right now. soO will re-drone. These roaches not focus firing all that well. But dude, the roaches are starting to take out these drones. soO letting roaches into all of his bases, a bit of a mistake here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot of economic damage. 17 drones. But it was an equal cost for cost trade. soO does re-drone and recover. He's going to counterattack right now. Lambo doesn't have +2 yet. Ravage is morphing. Roaches and Lynx coming across this map. It's 38 drones against 38 drones, but there is a massive army supply lead for soO. Oh, this is going to be really hard to deal with. This is going to be very, very, very hard to deal with. Roaches trying to hang out right now. Roach speed and +1 is there. Ooh, okay. Roaches and Queens hanging out. This third base. How do you defend it? 6 more drones behind this. soO's not even all in. If soO gets the third, he has a massive, monumental economic advantage behind this. And already, look at the roach difference. You don't need to be a high-level player to go, that blob is bigger than that blob, you know? That is a very good fight here for soO, just numbers-wise. Even though Lambo focuses the Ravages down, does some fancy micro, essentially, soO's build order was just a great choice. And I think soO's build order was really good, going for the Carapace Roach Ling 42 drone. Because even though you might think, isn't it a bit of a gamble, bit of an aggressive attack? Yes. But when you gamble on an aggressive 3-base attack, and you're not sure what your opponent's doing on 2-base, it counters most of your opponent's 2-base aggressive options. So if you're simply playing the poker game, you're playing the odds, soO picked the correct strategy. Because 3-base, Roach, Ravager, Zergling, even though it's a hatchery tech all in, it does so well against so many 3-base strategies. Like, where it would have fallen off is if Lambo went like 1-1 upgrade, 45 drones, before taking, and then taking like a slow, careful third, and basically just massing up 1-1 roaches. That's where Lambo's strategy would have rocked. But very rarely will a pro player do that, because it's not usually good at pro level to do a 45 drone double upgrade on 2-base. It's kind of a mid-tier ladder play, right? It's a Platinum League special, you know? It's Loco's got a guide on it from 2012 that people are still doing to this day. And I just feel like now soO, 1-1 upgrades against +2. He's got the numbers. soO's going to seal the deal for Weibo Gaming. Fantastic play from soO. Unfortunate for Lambo. I do love that attack he did. We see Sterile mix that in sometimes, as well as a few other players. It's a nasty timing attack, but soO's strategy allowed him to just barely hold on. If soO built like 4 or 5 more workers, I think he was screwed there. GG, well played, Weibo Gaming.